Hey guys, Figurecraft here, and now we're going to still be working on doing some more painting, but I am going to try my best again to show you I went ahead and I got those fixed. There's that one. Then over here, there is that one. I'm still going to, look about it to see what's going on right about here. Getting that touched up, but I think for now, that looks good. Yeah, that looks good. But we got it touched up to about that point. And it looks pretty good. So now we're going to focus on right here, the tops of these. I finally did figure out what color those are over here on this one that I've been working on. Let me zoom you out. But right here, there's what we're working on. So you can see here, this thing is like a light brown burn color. And I actually do have that color. And it's an oil paint. So let me find it. And I'll show it to you. I even got a tan color too. Flat brown burn. I think that's actually the color I'm looking for. Yeah, flat brown burn. That's the color I'm looking for. Go figure, I grabbed the right one. Let me make sure. But yeah, this is actually the color I'm looking for. Here's the one I was telling you about. I even got one that's close to a peach color, but that's not what we want. We want this flat brown burn color. And with oil paint, you got to have either kerosene to clean your brushes or paint thinner. So I'm just shaking up the vial. Glass bottles are tougher to shake than regular bottles. But let me move this out here. I'm also going to be going over a light bleed issue 2. Which I should probably do that right fast before we paint this. Because we'll have paint everywhere. So yeah, let me do that. Let me get you back over here. I may have to tip you back to the TV here in a minute too. Because I got to find the picture to show you. But I've been watching a YouTuber, great YouTuber. His name is Building with the Boys. And he was showing a light bleed issue that he encountered. Which he is right, the light does bleed through the wall. And we don't want no light bleed in our model. So I'm just looking for the picture. I took a screenshot of it. Here they are. Okay, right here. You can see right here where he's pointing with the tweezers. You can see that whole wall around the green area lights up white. And then when I go to the next picture, you can see right here, it's bleeding through right there. And then right there on the same way, it's even bleeding through the front right here. Let me make sure. Yeah, that was the last one. Those are some more pictures we'll be going over. So yeah, right here. It's hard to see it, but right there, there is light bleeding through that wall. So we're going to encounter that. So getting back down here to my model, we're going to encounter that light bleed issue. So the first thing we want to do is find our little LED lights. Put you some batteries in your tester. And we're going to put these LED lights into the little tester and see if they work or not. Let me turn this lamp off. It's too bright. And yeah, you can see there we have little light working. So that LED light works. So that's a good one. And then let me grab our other one. These are some really tiny small LED lights too. From the camera, it doesn't do it justice. But them are some teeny weeny tiny LED lights in there. They're hard to show when it's turned on, but I will show it to you when it's turned off. You see that little tiny LED light in there? That thing's tiny. I mean, look at my finger compared to that LED. But yeah. But anyway, where the bleed is happening, it's bleeding through this wall right here. It's bleeding through the bottom of the flooring down here. And it's also bleeding through the back of this wall. So if I insert this little LED inside here, I'm going to be very delicate with this, because I don't want to break anything. This is just for, you know, a dry fit test. So that's why I'm doing this. But looking to where that LED is and trying to find that hole, not the easiest thing in the world to do. But I got it to stay in there for a dry fit. If I don't pull it back out trying to hook it up to the board, which I did. Go figure, right? Anyway, let me just hook this board in, and then I'll do my best to bring it up this way. It'd be much easier to do it this way. So let me just get this little board plugged in, just for a test fit. You can see there through the bottom, it's bleeding through the bottom, like I said. And then when I turn it this way, it's really hard to show this because it's so bright, but it is bleeding through that wall. The camera is not doing it justice, I'm telling you that right now. The light's like washing you out or something. Let me try to put my hand over it. There you go. You can see I'm bleeding through the wall. And then over here, I'm bleeding through the wall. And when I take that away, you saw that. So that's what we're encountering. And another thing we'll do too for a test fit, because I know this thing is hard to get on and off, but this is just a test fit. I'm going to try to get one side of this on, not snapping it on, just getting it for a test fit. Yeah, like that. Like that. And then, when I put that light back in there, it's going to bleed through that wall. So let me try this again. Putting the LED light into the circuit. Now this is going to be a challenge to do this. I'm going to have to feed it through the hole that it goes in. And then set the LED light into place. Grabbing that little wall piece. Now do you see it? Where it's bleeding through? That's what we're encountering. So, yeah, we got a lot to do here. So let me turn the light back on. We have addressed the LED light situation of the light bleed. So I'm going to put these little LED lights back in their box where they go. We'll need that over here still yet, probably. And then I'm going to go ahead and take the batteries out of this little tester. Alright, so now LED light bleed. We're going to need this. What we're going to have to do here, we're going to have to paint the inside of this around here where this peg is. We're going to have to paint around there black. We're going to have to paint the front of this wall black. And the back of this wall, I think we're going to have to paint black. Let me see here. I got another part around here. Let me find it. Yeah, this bag. Let me open up this bag. These are the parts from, I think it's 43, I think it is. We need this wall right here. We're not going to put it in yet, but we do need it for a test fit to see. So, yeah, it'll bleed through that wall, so we'll have to paint this black. And then when this covers it, you won't see that I painted that black, but I'll have to be careful too because it sticks out. So, paint it so far out. Basically, don't go past. Do not go past this deck right here. Don't paint black past that deck. Keep it inside that deck. That way, it won't stick out and you won't see that black behind there. Or, then again, that thing does circle all the way around, don't it? Let me look. I don't want to tell you wrong. Let me look. Okay, you should be good. You can go all the way past this little wall. The little wall blocks it. And then this will come down. And yeah, it blocks it. Okay, we're good to paint that whole entire thing black. So yeah, we'll paint the front of this wall black. We'll paint the back of this wall black, and we'll paint this whole bottom area right here black. That way it doesn't bleed through the bottom. So we're going to go ahead and do that. So let me stick these parts back in their bags. Now, like I said last time, those little envelopes, the little paper envelopes, I didn't trust them, so I took some extra bags that I had over from some screws, and I stored the smaller pieces into these little plastic bags. You can see that it used to have AP screws in it. But I did that with all the other small parts too, that way I won't lose anything while I'm slowly building this. I would highly suggest you do the same because, I mean, these little things are good, but this tape is very weak and it comes loose like nothing. And I could just see it, you having it in a box, you tip it up, all the stuff comes sliding out of the box, and then you wonder where it went to. These little paper baggies are pretty cool and all, but I'm not a big fan of them. So yeah, that's what that is. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and get this light bleed taken care of. So I got to find the paint. Okay, we're going to use this black gloss. I'm going to shake up the paint. I'm going to get my brush out of this water, and I'm going to wipe it off. Which I don't think I need that brush anymore. Actually, we'll probably pick a different brush. Let me see what brushes are over here. Let's see here. I want to use... I'll use this one. Okay. And then we'll put this one back into the bag until we're ready for it again. This is just a mixture of a bunch of different brushes I've collected over the years. Alright. Now we're going to take the lid off this. We're going to have to pop that black bubble. Well, that's provided me some paint. Okay, we'll see how long the black bubble stays there. It'll provide the paint that we need. So we're going to paint the inside of this, like I talked about, black. And it's like watery at the top, so that bubble ain't going to do. There we go. Now we'll get down in there and get our paint that we need. Yeah, I noticed that was watery. I'm like, wait a minute, that water paint ain't going to do. Because we need it to stick. And we need it to go on as thick as we can get it. So coming over here. I'm just going around. I'm just getting over here. I'm not worried about if I get it on the side of the walls on the inside, because it's all going to be covered. I'm just making sure not to get it too far out. And I would suggest, you know, painting all of this too before you stick your wooden deck down. That way you don't get no paint on your wooden deck. And I'm just going to go over here to the other side and repeat the same process. But yeah, definitely do all of this before you put your wooden deck down. And whatever paint, you know, you get over here by accident, the wooden deck will cover it. I seal my wooden decks down with Gorilla Wood Glue, because I know the adhesive is really sticky, but you gotta think, after this model is built, it's going to be setting for so many years. And then over years, the adhesive on the back of the sticker of the wooden deck is going to start to deteriorate. And then you're going to start to see over the years in your model, your wooden decks are going to start to peel up. And even though there is parts keeping parts down to the deck, there's going to be a whole lot of air bubbles surfacing in your deck around those pieces. And if you didn't super glue your parts to the wooden deck, you can just easily pull those parts back off the wooden deck and then put the Gorilla Wood Glue afterwards. But if you had super glued those parts down to the wooden deck, or you super glued those parts down to your deck, and you can't get those parts back off to apply the wooden glue after the adhesive gives away, then you're in trouble. So I would highly advise use Gorilla Wood Glue or any kind of wood glue on the wooden decks. I am not trying to tell you what to do. I'm just speaking from experience. This has happened to me before in one of my models. And it wasn't a pretty sight. That model has since been fixed. But yeah, it wasn't a pretty sight when that happened. This paint likes to try to be stubborn and not go on in one coat. So yeah, we got that going on. But we'll get there. If we have to go over it multiple coats, we will. I am just now going over the front wall. Yeah, I can see we're going to have to go over this a second coat, because one coat ain't going to do it. You can see there, one coat ain't going to do it. Sorry that I pulled it away from the camera there a minute ago. I had to see what I was doing. Yeah, one coat ain't going to do that. So we'll let that dry, and then we'll come over to the second coat. But yeah, you can see there I got the insides of those painted. I got the fronts of these painted. And when I turn it around, we got the two backs painted. But we are going to have to go over them in multiple coats, because one coat of that paint ain't going to do it. So, let me look here. That one's still drying. This one's close to dry. That looks good. That looks good. Let me look at these fronts again. This one's close to drying. The thing about acrylic paint, it dries fast. That one's good. Then we're going to go over this one. You see right there how it's not really covered. There we go. So, okay, the light bleed issue has been addressed. That should stop any light from bleeding through. And that will all be hidden. You won't even see that. So, now putting my brush into the water. Whew, a whole lot of stuff to do in this model. Painting things, correcting things, taking care of light bleed issues that we know is going to occur. But we'll get it. We will get it. Okay. So now that the light bleed issue has been taken care of, now we're going to go and paint the tops of these, that brown color that I showed you. So let me just get the lid back on this paint. And I'm going to get this wood burn color open. Shaking it up, making sure it's ready. Okay. And let me get back to that picture right fast that I'm going to be using. There. Alrighty, got the wood brown burn color open. You can see there's the color of it. I'm going to dip my brush into the paint and get some paint. Now, like I said, this is oil paint. So oil paint is not as forgiving as regular acrylic paint. But I'm going to take my brush, eyeball it here, and I'm going to start to paint the top of this. Watching what I'm doing. I'm just painting the top of this. And you can see there when it gets painted on there, it does turn into that light color. So that one looks good on that side. So let me grab some more paint. Wipe it down. We don't want too much on our brush. Okay, just like that. Now I will go over it with a the blade and scrape away most of that I don't need to, you know, trim it down to make it to what we want it. But that right there has gotten this section of Titanic done that I'm going to paint all on this. So I am finished with this big piece now. So I'm going to set that to the side. What I am going to do, because I know that these have to be painted too, these banister things at the top. So I'm going to go ahead and paint these this same color, because according to this picture, you can see they're out there, they are the same color. So, and these have multiple sides to them, so we'll be painting that too. So getting our paint, I'm going to go ahead and take the paint and start applying it to the piece. Being very careful not to hit the top of those white things. Because I don't want them painted. And also being careful to not hit this wall on the other side over here. That wall, don't want to hit that wall. But yeah, I'm basically going to go down there and paint all of that. And then I'm going to go and paint that trim there that you see, which I'm already hitting it, considering how I'm doing that from the top. So that's a good thing. So yeah, getting some more paint on the brush. Making sure that you're in focus, which you are. Well, hang on a minute. Now you're in focus. I'm going to eyeball it and go over it with some more paint. Just like that. And now we're going to go over this rim. Just like that. And there we have it. And you can see there, that looks good. I'm going to get back here. I'm going to barely nip the very back of that rim. And focus you. Just like that. Now the bottom of it, I'm going to try my best to not hit that wall, but that is going to be a challenge. So, but if we take our time with it, we should be able to do it. So, don't go too fast. Just like that. Don't go too fast with it. And you'll get it. So getting a little bit more paint, but not too much, because I'm right here underneath here. I need to really get less on my brush. Because I don't need some paint to run off and go onto that. Just like that. We're just about there. Just take your time with it. And there we have it. You can see I got the bottom lip from the front. None of it went onto the white. And there we are from the top. I'm going to end the video here, but what I am going to do is I'm going to go ahead and paint, the other side. I'm also going to paint the inside of these window frames because they was like a dark brown color. And let me put this in my mouth first. The dark brown color I'm going to use let me set this down. I'm going to use this color. GL Brown Burn. And I'm going to go over them windows. But that's going to do it for this video. You all have a blessed one. And when I come back, we'll be doing some more painting. But until then, y'all have a blessed one. Goodbye.